adult content, and real-life events might not be suitable for a younger audience.
All right, welcome to Broke But Not Out. I'm your host, David Shannon, and with me today we have Pete versus Anxiety. How's it going, sir?
Doing great, man. How you doing? Excited to be here, brother.
Another day, another day. Another
Right?
day closer to death, I guess, or something like that.
Right, exactly. I guess that's how we're supposed to look at it. I guess not. I mean, it depends if we want the grim point of view.
But yeah, so this is the first time I've actually invited somebody on to the show. Usually the show is one where I sit there and kind of talk about my day and my struggles and kind of something that helps me with my mental state, which if anybody really knows me, they know my mental state is kind of out of there and kind of wacky.
Yeah.
But sometimes good, sometimes bad. But a lot of the show is kind of the darker side. Like it's went through the dark sides of my life because I have talked about when I tried to
Yeah.
take myself out a few times and how screwed up my ex-girlfriend made me for 16 years and
Hmm.
that fun stuff. But I know with especially the name of like your show and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about you and like what you've dealt with.
Well, I'm Pete. Pete for Anxiety, obviously. Yeah. So the show concept originally is, we're trying to break the stigma that mental health is not talked about enough. So, like, if you look at it now, where I was when I started this, I came across an episode on my last podcast I did was called Pete's Corner Store. I was doing with a friend, and we were getting to the end of it. You know what happens when you get co-hosts? Sometimes it just doesn't work out. So, like, I ended that one because we were doing men's mental health, and I'm looking at the statistics. And if you look at the statistics, there's some scary fucking numbers. The numbers are scary. Think about it. It's like
Hmm.
80% of us aren't making it, and those are all men. That's not even women. We're not even counting the women in this conversation. These are only men. And then at the time, the second highest amount is the age group I'm in. I'm 40 now, but when I did it, it was just like I'm way too close to that number for why we're not talking about this stuff enough. So when I was thinking about what to do for this show, I was just sitting there, and the original logo actually was one my wife at the time had made for me. So I was staring at it and I was thinking about it, and all of a sudden it hit me, Pete versus anxiety, because my anxiety I battle every single day. Like people don't realize like what it's like to have anxiety. Like some days I'm okay, other days I'm high alert. I'm paranoid. Like I'm looking around my shoulders every few seconds, always constantly looking for something, or I'm constantly fixated on something. Like my brain will fixate and just go start taking off. And then at the same time, I have depression. So one will feed into the other. So it's an infinite loop of just cycling my emotions a lot of times.
Hmm.
And while I was doing the show, first season I was struggling hardcore. Nobody even knew. So when I later on told people how bad it was, they're like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" Because most of you couldn't handle the thoughts that were going on in my head. If I told you, you'd probably be scared. Like you'd literally look like Casper White if I told you exactly what it is that I was thinking at that time. Because most people can't handle this conversation. Now, since doing the show, it's gotten easier to talk about it more with people. It was hard at first, but a lot of people kept asking me, Pete, what about you? Pete, what about you? And I only shared a little bit. So a little bit of my story is that my mom abandoned me when I was 10. Like we got into a disagreement over something stupid. I don't remember exactly what it was now, but it was just the dumbest thing ever. So then she got mad and took me to my dad's and just dropped me on a doorstep and goes, well, here you go. So at first,
Oh wow.
you don't think about it when you're 10. You're not realizing the ripple effect this is going to have on your life as you go. So like, I spent a lot of time by myself, because my dad worked nights and, he had his girlfriends at the time, whoever was there would kind of keep an eye on me. And then I kind of just did my own thing. And then as it went on, I noticed weird things. Like I was always real angry. Every time I felt like people were going to abandon me, it triggered me. So my brothers and sisters would always like play jokes on me. And I get super sensitive about it. Never could figure out what it was that it was. So as I kept going, I just kept getting angrier. And I ignored this thing for like 30 plus years. Like I went through a narcissistic relationship with my ex 15 years. She gaslit me. I almost almost off myself a few times because I was just like, I couldn't take it anymore. The voices in my head are telling me, go do it. She's constantly attacking me. She's constantly triggering me. I'm not sleeping. I'm drinking at the time, that's not good either. You're like, if you
No.
combine all this thing together, then I'm lashing out at my children, um, threatening to do things to them, and they're just kids. Like, what would look like discipline to me in my head wasn't discipline. It was just like those poor kids went through a lot with me. So obviously we don't have the best relationship now. We're rebuilding it now as I've been doing the show and I've been going through therapy and dealing with these things. So like that was my constant push is like, but when I posted about this, When I tell you I thought my phone was gonna break, dude. I thought it was gonna break, dude. I like had 150 responses right off the bat of people that wanted to do this. And that's what originally started joining a network before I started doing this. Like I was doing a lot of audio recordings just to get warmed up to figure out how I want to do this. So I did a bunch prior to that. So like I had a Columbine shooting survivor. One of my 3-time returning guests, actually, she was my second guest in the show, Melissa Kim Corder. She does a lot of shadow working and stuff. She came on, and a few other people I've had on since then have come back for a second appearance, And then when we got to the first day of the show, I actually did an interview with a guy named Rory from the Podcasters Nation, And Rory and I had met that morning. He's like, "So when does your show start?" I'm like, maybe like a couple hours now." He goes, "Damn." He goes, "You're just busy." I'm like, "Yeah, I got people lined up to the end of the year already." And he was like, "Already?" I'm like, "Yeah." So my guest list was a Monday show, 10 a.m. And I already had guest lists all the way up to December. So I was like, damn, okay.
Oh,
So as
wow.
I kept going, I kept having more people hit me up. I'm like, well, I'm already booked to the end of the year. You have to wait till next year. And people are like, okay. So then I reached out to the network and said, hey, listen, can I do more episodes? Since if there's space, since we're still new, we're trying to figure everything out. And he was like, yeah, if nobody's there, you can do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I added a time slot at 3 o'clock, filled it up to December again. I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. So we get to mid-November, okay, and I've like at this point I'm trying to schedule these on my own and juggle everything. I didn't know that digital schedulers were even there until somebody told me. I was like, well, maybe I'll get one of those calendars and see. So I got the calendar. Okay, so tell me why the next 2 weeks, I kid you not, this calendar is already out to April. Both time slots
Wow.
filled to April. Then a week later, we're to July, and people are like, well, how's the show going? Well, I'm booked to July of 2025 currently. And the look on people's face was priceless. They're like, really? I'm like, you're telling me. I didn't know. There's a high demand for this show. Like, I don't know. These people are lining up, and I still get people lining up. I tell them, they'll see my calendar. Oh, well, you're booking into July? I'm like, you're about as shocked as I am. I'm surprised to have this many people lined up. And then when I got to the beginning of the year, I started using this guest matching site called Podmatch. So then I opened my calendar a little more. And that was probably the worst mistake ever because I was doing 5 days a week, 2 episodes every day, and
Damn.
I was not sleeping at all. And I was struggling. My mental health was getting worse by the minute. But like when I do the
That'll burn you
show,
out.
oh, I was burned out beyond belief by the end of season one because I literally was like doing the show, and then I like in the same room I was in, I turned the light off, go right back in because my depression was so bad because I wasn't sleeping. And then me and my current wife at the time were arguing because she didn't like the fact I was doing this show because her biggest fear was I was talking to other people. I was like, that's the whole point of the show, though. I'm talking to other people. No, I don't like you talking to the girls. I'm like, I'm interviewing them for a show. I'm
Yeah.
not asking them for a date. Like
Yeah,
it was just weird.
you're not interviewing them for, yeah, like you said, for a date or anything like that. You're
Hmm.
actually interviewing them to talk to them about what's going on with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, them and I had a lot of experts come on, different people in different fields, different like energy healers. I had everything across the spectrum. People do psychedelics. Things like that too. All these interesting people I could find. If you had an interesting story, I wanted it. We had a lot of people come and tell their stories. I think the craziest moment still to the moment of the show, besides season three's opener being number 2, is that this guy was literally talking about offing himself while we were live recording these episodes because these are all live in the first season. So we're live on YouTube while this is recording. And he's just casually talking about it. Yeah, 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm sitting here at the edge of the bed having this thought. I have the gun in my hand. I'm just like, oh God, this is not going to end well. And he's like, you know, I'm just thinking about taking my own life this morning. I don't know what it was, man. I was just feeling. He's just casual about it, Dave. I'm like, holy crap! Hold on, what? And I'm freaking out internally, but on the camera, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But it was just like one of those moments where this is going to get real. I'm like, okay, something tells me we're going to get real from here, and we did. We had a lot of interesting conversations. Some episodes they did, and during the end of the first season were all about me. Like we did a star chart reading and things like that. So people got to know a little more about me and then things I found out were very interesting. Like podcasting has been in my chart for a long time. I have a lot of female friends, which that's in the chart as well, because, it was just unusual that I didn't really have a lot of guy friends. I have a lot of female friends because those are just the people I just got along with. It wasn't anything sexual. It was just platonic. You know what I mean? Like they were
Hmm.
just friends. It was not, I didn't see them as anything other than just a friend. And then she told me, she's like, well, you had trouble with your mom. How did you know? Because you never knew this until you've been here. So she knew that. It was all in the chart. And we're reading this chart up as we're going around the 12 houses of the astrological signs. You're looking at these, and as we're hitting them, she's going to deeper content about like where mine is and what it says about mine in there. And she's hitting things that I've never told people.
Oh, wow.
So it was interesting though to say, needless to say. Then when we got into season 2, The second episode, man, it was rough because we were talking about me. It was turned from an interview to like a therapy session. Like we see me get deep with my inner problems I have. My guest Julian and I were talking about my inner child. So now, like, I do it to this day. I meditate and I'll talk to my inner self. And I know I tell people that they sound thinks it sounds weird, but it's like it helps though. Like you have to talk to your inner child because every moment I get into that feeling, like where that fear and abandonment kicks in,
Hmm.
like I don't go back to the moment of I go back to the moment of the 10-year-old. I don't go back to the 10-year-old Pete. Pete at 10 years old. I go to that feeling where it was like I didn't realize what was going on until I realized it. So I get that fear of like I start to push people away because then I'm like,
Yep.
I'm gonna get rid of you before you can get rid of me, kind of thing. It's like sometimes like people with BPD do the similar things like that. Like my girlfriend, she has BPD, so like I'm learning a lot of stuff. A lot of similarities of things that we do. And things like that too. Constant reassurance she needs. Stuff like that I don't mind doing. Like I get it, it makes sense because I actually get to host one of my top five guests on the show, Dr. Jen Bellinger. She came on and she's an expert in that field. So that was one of her favorite things. Personality disorders are one of the things she really likes to work with. So like she came on and we were discussing it for a while. So I've been using her as a resource for things. So, I asked her recently and told her, I said, I'm talking to somebody that has, BPD, Dr. Jen, is there some things I should learn or some place you want me to go? You think I should go? She's like, yeah, I got TikTok videos. And she said that she has a support group. So I'm literally going to sign up for the support group and things like that. So I'm taking the steps it takes because, like, with people with BPD, it's a little more extreme. Like, sometimes you got to constantly reassure them. Sometimes I have extreme mood swings. Like they don't get angry; they get super enraged. You know what I mean? Like they don't function like normal people. And it's weird though too because like a lot of times you have to explain the context of your conversation to people because they don't understand tone of voice. Especially she doesn't understand tone of voice. Like you have to like explain it to her, which is interesting because she's teaching me a lot of stuff as a go too, like stuff about like how to handle certain situations, and things like that as well. So it's been an interesting journey to this point, And then I started switching from lives to pre-recording, man, and I'm already done with season two now. I've just been kind of coasting here a little bit because I was taking a break because I've been going through a divorce myself, so like me and my ex are trying to get everything figured out. We had not a really great breakup, but we're on mutual terms that it just wasn't working out between us.
Well, that's good.
But the thing is that we had a conversation 4 months prior to this whole decision where I told her that I had thoughts of taking myself out because I was just down. We were arguing, and I don't remember what else. Something else flared up the whole situation. And when I told her, her exact statement was, and if you're listening to this, please don't ever tell somebody this, that, well, this is the wrong time. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me reschedule my feelings for you to another day where it's better for you on your calendars. It's like,
Wow.
what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming to use my wife and telling you this, that I'm having these thoughts. And I'm like, it's hard to tell you already about these thoughts, but I'm coming to tell you about it. And then you act like I'm making a big deal when I get upset when you say that to me. And she's like, well, what did you want me to say? I want you to act like you had some empathy of some sort.
Like it mattered.
Exactly. Exactly. And it was just like, it was that, I was already heading towards divorce because I was like, it's just not working out. We're not seeing eye to eye and things. And it was like, legitimate reasons. It wasn't just because I was mad about just that, but that was the final thing right there. That was just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So, eventually we split up. So I ended up leaving because she asked me to leave. So I just left. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to leave quietly. I'm not going to start anything. And things like that too. So I've been kind of rebuilding my life as it is. I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting over the time period I've been gone, and it seems like things are getting better for me though, because my kids and I are having actual conversations. We actually had a full conversation the other day, which was really shocking because normally I just get one or two texts and then I hear nothing from them for like a week or two, and then it's typical teenager things. Now I'm getting a little more involved text messages. Hey, Dad, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this stuff. Like my daughter and her girlfriend, she starts sending me pictures of her and her girlfriend. Hey, we're going to prom. We're talking about all that kind of stuff because my oldest is about to graduate high school in May, and that's crazy even to say itself. Like, I already got one down and two to go because I have
Tell me about
twins.
it.
So I got twins though as well. So they're going to be in high school next year. So like I'm trying to I got 4 more years, and then they're all graduated. So I'm trying to be more involved with that. I'm trying to repair my relationship with my mom because I know that I'm not going to get the answer I want. So I'm just going to have to accept the fact that just take the good with the bad. Like I can accept the fact that what happened is what happened, but I'm not letting it own my life anymore. I'm turning it
Hmm.
into a superpower because if not, I wouldn't be doing Pete versus anxiety, and I wouldn't be in the situation I'm now. I've got all these people I met. I've got lined up to do a bunch of different panels and things like that too. So, I got invited to come back to a media panel for the second time, or the original person that was doing it with us the first time, she had two Golden Globes just sitting there like it's nothing. I'm just like, I thought those what those were too because I was staring at it on the camera. I'm like watching because I wasn't up yet to be introduced. I'm looking at it off the camera, I'm like, what is that on the desk next to her? And one of the guys goes, "Hey, listen, you got any Golden Globes in here?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I got like two here." So she picks them up and just starts showing them to us. So yeah, I got another one back there. I'm just like, what is going on here, dude? Because I'm the most like, mind you, I'm the most rookie person in this group, though. By the way, everybody else here has like 5+ years of just like some high level stuff. Jerry Springer, Oprah Winfrey, CNN, all these different names of places that we all know and we've all probably seen in our childhoods. Like we remember
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Springer and all them. I was
Yep.
just like, this is crazy. Then CNN, I'm like that's insane, and it's like, it was just like to me, it was like wow, I really did something if somebody wants me to be here. So I got to meet like 200 people in like a short couple hours. So like they put us in these rooms, and then I thought I was actually going to be pitching to people on the panel, but no, it was people pitching me. So I was like, okay, so tell me a story, and I heard some wild stories. So we got some interesting ones that are coming down the list on my schedule because currently I'm booking into April right now, almost March. And when I say booking, I mean I record 2 days a week, which is usually Mondays and Tuesdays, and I have like 4 to 5 interviews some days on those days, and then I add in the extra ones I pick up as I go with different people throughout the week since I have more flexibility. So I'm pretty busy, and it's going to get pretty busy. So that's why these last few weeks I've kind of been taking it easy as I gear up for season 3 because I'm still a month out until it shows up on the 4th. So I'm like, all right, so I got time that way. Then I can start getting back into it this week. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my plan this week is to start really jumping into it. So I've got one on Sunday starting off, and then the rest of the week I've got Uncle Jimmy, like we discussed. Uncle Jimmy's coming on. I was on his podcast last week. He was great, and then I'm trying to get Shannon from In Your Head, hopefully Monday as well. And then there's a couple other people I got coming down the line that are really interesting. I've invited a bunch of people, so we'll see how this season turns out, and then where everything falls, maybe going into season 4.
Oh wow. So what now you said that you still deal with like abandonment issues and stuff like that from what your mom did.
Yeah,
What are some of the things that you do to kind of help overcome that? Because I know in my struggles in that sometimes I can overcome it, sometimes it kind of overtakes me and I've got to take steps back. But what are some of the steps like you do
you
when that
know,
feeling starts coming up?
it's the worst feeling ever, and it's the hardest when to battle too. You got to kind of tell yourself that they're not leaving; it's just an argument. But then my anxiety kicks in, so it's like you're having a double whammy. So now they're tag teaming you, and then your depression kicks in, and it's a trifecta. Sometimes I don't win against it. A lot of times, it's something I'm working on now. I know it's one of those issues that are really tough because that feeling overwhelms you. And you start feel like you're just going to start getting overwhelmed. Like I start getting like it's like a shot of adrenaline, and I'll start going in fight or flight mode. And it's
Mhm.
hard, man. It's really hard once you get into that mode. Your mindset is just gone because you're not thinking about that. Your first thing is thinking about you're gonna leave me. I'm gonna leave you before you can leave me. So I'm gonna either tell you to get away or I'm gonna cut off communication. I'll block you and things like that too. That way I don't have to talk to you, and then it'll take a few days for me to wind down, and then I'll come back and apologize.
Yeah.
And it was the struggle I had with my current ex-wife that we're in the process of divorcing. That was the thing is I just kept telling her to leave, but she just like it just was like if I ever felt like she was gonna leave, I get into that mode. I get really aggressive. Heart starts racing. Like I said, a shot of adrenaline kicks in. You start going to fight or flight almost, and it's like I just kept pushing her away, and she kept getting mad because I kept doing it. But she didn't understand. I'm like, you have to understand. This is my fear of abandonment kicking in. It's like it's not just me making this up. It's this is how I feel about things. And rather than us work through it, she just kind of like she was getting tired of it.
Yeah.
And it was part of the downfall of what was happening for us. Not on top of everything else. She had a real bad drinking problem too. So and she turned into like a whole nother person. So I had that issue I'm dealing with too, and things like that as well. So like I'm dealing with my own shit, I'm dealing with her shit on top of it, and then I'm dealing with the struggles of trying to be married to somebody who tells you that it's okay to go off yourself, and then says to make me the 13th reason why was her last statement she ever made to me that I was just done. That was the final thing that she could have ever said to me. I was like, all right, cool, well I'm done with this relationship, and I just shut off from there. I was like, I was done. I didn't care. I was looking at the first exit to get out, and things like that too. I tried to make it work out to the end of our lease, but it just didn't work out. Man, I couldn't stay there because every day I come home, my anxiety was through the roof, and then she'd weaponize anything I'd say to her. Oh, should we call 988? Should we call 988? It's like you're weaponizing 988. You're trying to just do it to be a bitch. You're not doing it to help me. You're just trying to because you're mad
Yep.
because I don't want to be here anymore. And you don't know what's going to happen next. And she's like, oh, no, no. And then she found out I was going to leave earlier. And then she got mad. That's what triggered her to tell me to leave. I was like, all right, well, see you later. I'm out. And then wanted me to come back. I'm like, no, you told me to leave. See you later.
She
You
wanted to have
played
the
right in
power in it.
100% is what it was. And then when she saw she was losing power, my therapist was like, "That's why she hated your podcast so much," because she was like, "Well, I can't control this situation. I control everything else, you know." And I was okay with, doing everything for her, doing stuff for her, things like that. I didn't mind, because she had these bouts of depression where she wouldn't leave the bedroom for a couple days while she was off, and then things like that. And I was like, okay, hey, do you need anything? I check in her constantly, between every interview. Hey, did you need something? Can I get you something? Can I make you something? Have you eaten today? All that stuff, like basic. Make sure she's doing the basic human things.
Mm-hmm.
Getting her to take a shower was hard for her to do some self care and things like that. She kept blaming me and saying it was all me, but it's like at the end of the day, if you don't want to help yourself, you can't blame me for that. I tried to help you. I tried to be as supportive as I could to you, but then your drinking problem became an issue. When I tried to talk to you about it, you got upset with me, got mad at me. You just started saying, "Oh, that's not the problem." Yeah, when you start drinking, become another whole nother person, it's a problem for me because then you get verbally abusive, and then I'm starting to have flashbacks of when I was a kid, because my mom used to hit me all the time as a kid. Dude, she beat the hell out of me one time, Dave, man. I'm telling you, she stomped the shit out of me one time. I remember this too. I don't remember what it was. She whacked me right upside the head. I went to the ground and she started stepping me in there like a gangland stomping, dude. Just literally was just.
Oh wow.
And I remember that to this day. Like, that's the one thing I always remember. That was the worst ass whooping I ever took from her. My mom was the type to yell at you. And like, the level, like when you're getting in trouble. Like my dad's the
Mm-hmm.
same way. Like you knew when you're in trouble. Like if he's sitting there calm, your ass is getting whooped. But he was different though. He'd like give you a couple spots and then tell you to go to your room kind of thing. It was it. He didn't really he'd like yell and scream, things like that too. So like when I got older, that was the thing I would do because when we're kids, that's what you're watching. You're watching to see what your parents are doing because you're mimicking the things that they're doing.
Yep.
So you're thinking this is how you're supposed to interact. And the two of them arguing all the time was just not good for me because they were just yelling and screaming at each other, and like I couldn't figure out what they were so mad about. And then my mom was mad about this, and then my dad was mad about that, and my dad was trying to sleep, and he's working on all these nights. So like most of the time we were left unattended. Like the '90s, you could get away with that. Nowadays, you
Yeah.
can't because somebody's gonna snatch a kid out the front yard. Before we were gone for days. We were gone for hours sometimes. Sometimes I'd be gone for a day or two, hanging out at my friend's house. I just call and tell him, "Hey, I'm staying at so and so's house." Okay, cool. But you could do that though. Remember, this is the
Mm-hmm.
'90s. Now everybody's listening. If you're not from the '90s, this is what I say. The '90s were different. The
Yep.
commercials are different. The TV shows are different. All this sensory crap you guys have nowadays, we didn't have that shit though. Like you think about it, like TV, you could watch a lot of crazy shit on TV. Like we had what is it, 1-800, numbers for all these sex lines that were on the TV all the time, middle of the night, Cinemax with Skinemax does, you know what I mean? Like it was just like
Yeah, because usually at about, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, you can switch to HBO and watch some good shows. And you're
real
sitting
sex
there,
and all those other ones.
yep.
Yeah, we
But
thought we were
I
in
mean,
Cloud Nine.
the porn on the computer sucked because it took too long to download anything.
hmm
And then
hmm
somebody picked up that phone, you were screwed.
Oh, dude, we did it one time. I thought my dad was gonna kill us, bro. He was pissed. He was like, he goes, "What the fuck is 1-800 USA girls?" I'm like, "Oh, oh shit!" Like we didn't understand how that worked, And it was just like it was ugh. Back when the telephone was an actual thing, and we had to start the
Yep.
cell phones, and like Nokia was still there, and you had to like press the button 3 times to text the letters. Like
Uh-huh.
if you could text sentences out in a fast pace, you were an expert at that typing. But other than that, no, 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 not like nowadays, man. Where everything's run from your smartphones. That we're a slave to it. And now if we think about social media, it's even worse now because now people can attack you that way too. You start posting about your mental health there. I had my co-host in my side project, the Voice of the Voiceless, Maddie, and she was telling her story, and she's schizoaffective, and that's a whole nother level, of just like intensity of things that you're dealing with, man. Maddie was telling her story one time on the internet. She said that these people were telling her, "Go to the hospital, go get checked in. You're crazy." She's like, "Well, guess what? Already been doing all those things already, so too late." It's to me, it's just like I I like social media and at the same time I hate it because
Yep.
like some of these people, there's these creepy videos of these guys where this girl was like, "Hey, look at my prom dress." I'm like, "All right, that's awesome, sweetheart, that's great." Then the comments, "Oh, that dress will look great on my floor." Bro, you're old enough to be my
Mm-hmm.
dad, and you're on here saying this to a 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl that's excited about getting ready to go to her dance, like we all were at that time. Oh, you're gonna go to the dance, and that's your comments, and people like you. That's disgusting. And then you have to think of these girls that are like scantily clad that are on there. What are we teaching these young girls? Like it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like I have daughters. I have to explain to them that this is not how women dress, and then why you can't you dress a certain way because boys don't how to act right. Because I remember that conversation, Dad. Why can't I dress like they want to dress? Because boys don't know how to act right.
Mm-hmm.
Little boys don't because we don't think about that.
Well, I made the comment too one time on one of my on TikTok on one of the videos. I was just kind of bored, so I went live, and it's like, you sit there and you look at your numbers, and the numbers don't click, but then you can sit there and flip through and find all these girls that are just sitting there taking their clothes off on it. And I mean, they got hundreds of thousands of views and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, so basically, in order to get any views on like that stuff, I have to one be a female,
Mm-hmm.
and two be taking off my clothes or dancing and stuff. And it's just, and yeah, I mean, even some of the girls that are on there doing normal stuff, like showing their day, like just normal things. I mean, still,
Well,
like my
think about
wife
it. You
wouldn't do,
know.
but they're sitting there getting all those comments like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
take your clothes off, do this, bend over. It's like, come on, like,
Mm-hmm. Get up. Get up. I got a
there's,
lot of friends that are like that too. They're very attractive women. One of them especially named Whitney. She goes by her real name now, but she was like that too. She was dressed like scantily clad and just sit there and talk to them. But she had like every treated her like she had no brain cells. But Whitney was a very bright individual, and she was on the show too. Her story was fucking crazy though. She made a really great statement though at the end of that one. I always highlight it all the time for everybody that she says that my name's Whitney, and then listed off the diagnosis of things. She says, I am. These do not make me as a person. These are things I deal with. And I think that was a powerful statement when Whitney made it too, because Whitney came on the show. Her story was like she was a cam girl model and things like that. She had to do what she had to do to get,
mm-hmm,
all this stuff done. Now, this season, I'm trying to get in touch with the woman that was on the news, the teacher that was an OnlyFans model that now can only do OnlyFans because she can't get a job here because of the whole scandal. My
oh
friend
wow,
from Everybody's Addicted out of Canada, Jasmine, had mentioned her to me on everything. So I literally had to ask my girlfriend at the time too. I was like, I'm asked her, I said, hey, babe, listen, I'm going to interview an OnlyFans model. Is that okay? She's like, can you use your real name? Because I kept referring to the OnlyFans. I'm like, I don't know what her name is. So let me go look what her name is real quick. So Sarah is the woman's name. I have not gotten hold of her yet. I know she said reach out on her or wherever Jasmine had told me to, so I'm going to touch base with her. But I thought it'd be interesting to have her come on and talk about her story and things like that and what she's doing now and the psychological effect of just the things that she's forced now to do these things. And people judge these OnlyFans models, but think about how much money these guys are making. Like, I wish I could make a couple $1 million for a day or two of work. I'd go do something
I
else the rest of
know.
my year. What do you mean? Shit, I could take a few years off.
I've made the joke where I'm gonna start OnlyFans, but I'm gonna start out naked and have them pay me to put my clothes on.
There you go. Hey, listen, that may work too. I'm down for that one too. We can try that. I'm down. You think? Listen, if Ashley's okay with it, listen, we can do this. I'll promote that shit. Like, hey, come here. How much you want him to put his clothes back on? You tell him which one you want to put on first. It's gonna cost you. If it works, it works at this point. But it's like people get mad and start demonizing these things. But this woman, that's her only income. She's got kids.
Mm-hmm.
She was a teacher, but she's not making enough. And she was doing what she had to do to supplement her income. Yeah, is it something that you don't approve of? Yeah, but it was behind a locked site. You had to pay to get there. It's
Right.
not like she's putting it out there for free for people to find. And she's a
Exactly.
very attractive woman. I'll be honest with you, very attractive woman, and everything like that too. And it was like I could see, but it's like you guys are the ones that are sexualizing her. Think about it. You're on the internet sexualizing this woman to this point. Like she's like, okay, well, you want to pay me for this? Fine, cool, why not? And that's why OnlyFans took off like it did. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this is not normally for sex workers. And okay, then stop allowing it to happen if that's the case. You know what I mean? But you don't see them stopping because they're making. I guarantee they're making a commission off these people's sales, just like TikTok. They've changed a lot of their rules too. Like I'm a part of an agency called Pyro Legacy, and let me tell you, dude, I have to do a lot of classes with this thing, and I'm learning all these things about the ins and outs of what TikTok looks at. Did you know that like if you get dinged in trouble for certain things, like you'll lose the amount that you get? So TikTok takes half your diamonds you make off every live, anyways.
Oh wow.
Which to me is kind of horse crap if you ask me. It's like those are mine. People are giving them to me.
Right.
I think your percentage should be less, but there's ways to earn it though. You have to do certain things to get more incentives to come back to you, like they have contests and you can battle people, which I do. I do a lot of the battling on there too. I do have one coming up on the 12th. It's like five people back to back to back to back. It's called St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So we're doing one of those, but you'll see me out doing battles and things like that with people too. Sometimes it's just fun to just kind of get out there and just interact with other people. You can host boxes and socialize. A lot of it's the consistency thing. Again, we're back to being consistent. If you're consistently at a certain time, but for me it's hard because I'm recording this show, so sometimes I'm live for 6-7 hours, just recording the show, mute my mic, and somebody's monitoring my chat, or people are just hanging out in my boxes and stuff like that too. And that's how you gain attention because the other people that are following these other people in your boxes will draw people in there for you. It's all about the likes.
Yep.
And it likes, and then it's all about the comments people make. Keeping the chat flowing and things like that. It's a constant work for a lot of people. I do have a few TikTokers that are coming on this season that it's going to be interesting to hear about the struggles they have to deal with when they're dealing with it because it's like you're on the camera always, man. It's like how do you deal with outside of how you turn off that person, and it's crazy because you find these rooms where people network and things like that too. Like one of them for sure is Joy's Family Barbecue. I invited her to come on the show and she was like, she's always been a big supporter of mine. I always go in there. She's always hyping me up and things like that too, you know. And it's like it's tough sometimes, man. I try to be everywhere I can be, but it's like, you know, constantly trying to be present. It's tough. Like, you know, did you know you have to post 2 videos a day in TikTok to stay relevant on their algorithm because they want content out of you? And I'm like, okay, it makes sense if you want to be relevant. So I'm always thinking of something extra to put in there, you know, to put on as the extra video and things like that too,
Hmm.
because you know, and it's a constant battle. Then it's my struggle with my mental health too. It's like then it's mentally taxing for me because I'm always constantly in the camera. I'm always having to be Pete. I can't just be Pete the individual. I have to be Pete the podcast host. And it's like, you know, you have to constantly think about all these things you're doing and what you're doing and how people portray you because like, you know, and when outside of it, it's like I'm just a normal person. I like watching football, I like watching anime, I like watching movies, I play games. And, you know, and
Yep.
sometimes I'll mix it up when I'm playing on there. I'll stream some games I'm playing and things like that. I'm playing with other people. But yeah, the agency thing has been kind of an interesting experience because my buddy Snicks, he runs a podcast called Unboxed Thoughts, which is coming back. But he was like, him and I have had several conversations about things, about just different things in that, you know, of that nature. But they have all these classes you got to go do and these different things, how to conduct yourself, different tips on how to battle people, how to build up your, you know, it's a lot of work, man. Like you don't think it's a lot of work, it's a lot of fucking work to do these things, you know. And then I'm recording the show, so I'm working 45 hours a week, recording the show, trying to keep my presence on TikTok as big as possible while juggling my own personal life and things like that too. And it's a lot going on at once, you know. And
Well,
it's rough. Some days I struggle, man. Some days I'm really in a rough mood, but I'm like, I try to do what I got to do because I enjoy doing the show. Every time I do the show, it's great. Like every episode, it's like a new conversation, a new therapy session.
yep. And that's one thing too. You've got to definitely make sure you take time out for yourself, for your mental stability. Otherwise, you never know. Like, have you ever had it where a guest would come on and trigger you on something?
Yep,
And
narcissism seems to be the only thing that triggers me the worst. And like afterwards, you know, I'm just like I'm mentally drained. I can't do any more conversations after that. And I've had to reschedule some people because I'm just like I'm not going to be able to give you 100% Pete because I'm like if I can't give you 100% of me, I'm just not going to do it because I'd rather put out you know what is 100% me because most of these I don't even prepare for half these interviews. That's literally me talking. That's not me prepared for anything. Now, if it's a book, okay, a little different. I'll ask for maybe some questions ahead of time, some things I can base my conversation around, get an idea for the feel of the book. I try to read as many books as I get sent to me. I've got a stack of them, man. I got a stack, but I get a lot of really cool stuff out of the show. Like I get people signing them for me. So I got another copy of Lauren, who was a guest on the show, was telling her life about her battles with addiction of alcohol. She actually knew another guest that was on the show, Austin Carr. He's on TikTok, really big presence. He's a sober coach and things like that too.
hmm
So Lauren's got a new book that just came out. So I said, "Yo, where's my signed copy, bro? Like, come on, hook it up." Like jokingly with her. She's like, "No, I got you. No, where I'll send you a copy." You know, but you meet a lot of really cool people, man. But narcissism seems to be the one that triggers me the most, though, because it gets me back to that feeling of like, because my ex was kind of that way a little bit too. And then my baby mama, she was like that for like 15 years. I was gaslit and like she had full control of my life. Like I was a zombie and I was her little puppet, basically. So she get mad at me for no matter what I'm doing. Oh, then, you know, all the triggering where I keep getting the flashes of memories, like I'm getting triggered, you know, and things like that
hmm
too, and all the things I did horribly, you know, and I wasn't sleeping. I was taking care of the kids all the time. She was hardly ever home, and then it turned out she was cheating, you know, and things like that. All these things started coming up, and I was
Well, that
just
sounds
like,
familiar.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's always that topic. Everything else I'm pretty okay with, but those topics are always mentally draining for me because it's like you're reliving those sense of feeling and you're talking about it, and it's just like it's rough because I'm an empath, so I feel a lot of this stuff.
Hmm.
You know, and then like you hear other people's stories. I think there's the only other topic, the other time I've ever, there's 2 times actually I broke down. One was because we were talking to a woman named Tiff Carson, and Tiff was telling a story about her brother. And she was just like, and it was hard, man. I couldn't keep it together, bro. She was just draining me, and then she was like, yeah, you know, turns out the brother was being abused in the corner of the kitchen by the grandfather and the father. Then he had a drug addiction, and then he lost his battle to the addictions by taking his own life. And when Tiff said that, and she started breaking down, I started breaking down with her. Dude, I was choking up. I was like, bro, I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh
Like I'm
wow.
so locked into the conversation with her. I'm listening to it. I'm feeling what she's feeling. And she got to that point. I just started breaking down on the camera, and that was the first time ever I've ever broken down. The second time was the author Susan Snow, the other side of the gun, who unfortunately lost her dad. He was a police officer to gun violence. Someone had gunned him down in front of her brother's school, and we were going through the emotional ride of what she was dealing with, you know, and then like I said, being an empath, you feel a lot of what these people are talking about. So Susan and I were talking, and it was rough, man. It was just really rough. Like you're listening to her tell this story, and it just never gets easier, you know. And I started breaking down. Like when she started crying, I started breaking down with her. I was like, bro, this is just mentally draining because it was just like I was done after that episode. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go lay down. I gotta take a nap or something. I'm just so drained. I cannot do anything else. I am no good the rest of the day for you.
Yeah, that's
But
how I kind of get like when I did some of these shows at the beginning.
hmm
Sit there and you don't think about mentally how exhausting it is, but when you sit there and you go through and you bring up the past and you're actually going through it word for word, when you get done, you're just sitting there like once you hit stop on the camera, you just kind of sit there for a second and think, what the
hmm
hell? You know, you don't realize how things really were until you really start getting them out. Because I mean, I tried doing
exactly.
like counseling and stuff like that, and I have this weird thing with counselors, and I've noticed this, they can't really help me out because I sit there, they'll ask me stuff, I'll tell them what they want to hear, I guess, and it's
Exactly.
not
There's what it
completely,
is. That's
yeah,
what it is. That man. That's what it is. You're telling them what's going on. You're not telling them your
mhm.
actual feelings of what's going on,
I've
and
never been
that's
able,
understandable.
I've never been able to actually get past that. And my wife, she noticed it too. She's like, you know, you can sit there and talk to anybody, but she goes, when it comes down to you actually having to talk about deep down what's going on,
hmm
she's like, you can't break through that wall. And I mean,
hmm
there's stuff that she knows honestly that I still struggle with. And I mean, like even at night, because I'm used to my ex when the stuff she used to do,
hmm
like she tried to roll over one time and hold me when I was sleeping, and I literally don't remember this, but I guess I woke up, looked at her, and said, "Get the fuck off me, you fucking cunt."
Oh wow.
And then the next morning, she's like, "Do you remember saying that?" I'm like, "No." And she goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you tell me to get the fuck away from you all the time when you're in bed." But it's like, it's a lot of the deep down stuff that I used to deal with. Because I mean, my ex, heavy drinker, heavy into drugs, you know, cheated constantly, would tell me she was going to work and she was going out and doing
Yeah.
stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
she had two abortions that I knew of, but then she opened up to my wife for some reason. She had a crush on my wife before her and I actually got together, and I guess there was like anywhere between 4 and 8 abortions, and
Wow.
all, you know. I found out why at times she wouldn't do anything with me because she'd come home and find out that she's got some kind of disease, and she'd tell me, you know,
Oh
I'm not
yeah.
feeling good and all this, and you know, and when we broke up, like I've pretty much realized the fact that I had to forgive her for all this for me to actually move on and have a decent relationship with my wife,
Yeah.
which was hard. But I asked her straight up, I'm like, how many times did you cheat on me? She goes, honestly, I don't remember. And
Wow.
she
That's
goes,
even
but,
worse.
well, she said, she made this comment to me and I laugh about it now because she goes, but you know, one night stands don't count as cheating. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, they do. But I mean, just the stuff like trying to get through that. And when you think, you tell yourself, yeah, I'm over it, doesn't matter. But yeah, you do bring stuff in. And my wife and I actually had this conversation
Yeah.
yesterday, the day before, about how we've got to sit there because she dealt with a really abusive relationship for 18 years
Yeah.
and still dealing with crap
hmm
because he's narcissist and won't give up
hmm
on it. We've
hmm
actually gotten a cease and desist on her show, which we've never named his name
Yeah.
or anything, but he's sitting there, he's like, oh, you're lying about all this, and it's like, nope, medical documents, bud. But us, we found our struggle is when we do piss each other off, we don't really try to, but it's like you almost compare your person you're with now to the significant others you've had in the past, and it's
hmm
like both of us realizing that we can't do that because they're not the same person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've been dealing with those battles and all that,
Hello,
but
everyone. My name is Ashley, and my husband and myself own the network Shannon Family Products. And we are proud to introduce our new nonprofit group to help fight brain cancer, also known as glioblastoma. With your help, we can make a difference and hopefully one day find a cure. This type of cancer affects many people all over the world and is very rare for adults to get, as it is a childhood cancer. And this is the cancer that I am battling. With our help and the GRO, we can win this. So I ask all of you and myself to please join together and let's help the thousands of people, along with myself, to win this fight. I would like to say thank you to all of you for your support And please go on our link to get more information on where you can donate or what you can do to help. We can make a huge difference because no one should have to fight this battle alone.
I kind of wanted to get back to one thing you said before when we
Yeah,
first
go ahead.
started
What's up?
talking. The men's mental health. It seems to me like that is a big topic that's almost taboo or like overlooked. Like men shouldn't have these problems, and
Mm-hmm.
men should just be able to move on and get over it. And it's not that easy, and it's not saying anything bad about, like the generations, like, because I remember growing up, it was men don't cry, men don't show emotions, men do this, and it's like, no, we have emotions. We have to let it out. You wonder why some of those men were either heavy drinkers, complete assholes, abusive, and all
Mm-hmm.
this other stuff. Is because they had no outlet to let things out, to
Well, you
let.
got to remember though too. A lot of those guys too, they went to war and things like that too.
Mhm.
Some had PTSD they were dealing with. They were calling shell shock at the time, so you have that added factor too. Because some things trigger them. The smell of things trigger them. Certain things trigger you in those moments. Yeah. So
Yep.
we got to remember we play that in the factor too. A lot of the shit they went through, they saw some pretty fucking crazy shit. Some of those guys that saw actual combat. Like they went through some horrific things. People that dealt with the mustard gas and things like that they had in Germany, shit like they're watching people die left and right. It's like these are traumatic things these people are dealing with. So we play that in a factor too. And then the
Hmm.
fact that we're being told that, you're weak if you have emotions, which really is not. It's like, to me, the alpha male should be somebody who can talk about everything. Why can't you talk about and feel all these feelings if you're the alpha? If you're the
Yep.
top dog, because men, we have the tower system. We always look up to see who the top dog is because we're always trying to outdo each other, and things like that as well. Because me and Betsy Holmberg actually talked about this for an hour long. She's a neuroscientist. We were talking about the fact that the way that women and men interact are different. Like we already know that, but the fact that women are more social versus men that are the tower system, we're always trying to outdo one another. And it's really what it is. It's almost like peacocking if you think about it, because you're trying to make, when you're trying to attract somebody new, you're trying to give the reason why you're better than the other one, and things like that too. But why do you feel like we don't talk about it enough? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Because to me, I just think a lot of it's a generational thing. But when you bring it up, a lot of times, you'll find that somebody's waiting for you to start the conversation in your friend group for you all to open up. Have you had anybody in your friend group like that? Because I had a friend like that. He didn't really start talking about his personal deep thoughts until he knew I was doing this and everything like that. So then he's been opening up to me and we talk about like everything. Like I've had a friend call me and tell me one time he's like, I'm literally going to jump off the roof of my house. I'm up here right now, kind of thing, And he called me knowing I'm the one that listens to this kind of stuff all the time. So, do you experience that now? Do you have guy friends you talk to about these kind of things?
Once in a while, I mean, my friend group's kind of shrunk quite a bit due to extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I used to, and it was only like one or two guys that, we'd open up with. But for
Mm-hmm.
the most part, it was kind of kept quiet, kept in the dark. And like now and that, if I see one of my friends online that's like, oh, I'm having this, and I make sure I give a message like, hey, man, you all right? You need to
Mm-hmm.
call? Hit me up. Here's my phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a call, because it's like I don't want to read about something happening, because I had a really good
Exactly.
friend of mine that him and we didn't really have a falling out. We just kind of grew apart.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was Thanksgiving Day on 2020 when I got the phone call like, hey, your friend overdosed.
Oh no.
And it's like, dude, it's like when we were hanging out and stuff, I mean, I knew he was a heavy drinker and he liked smoking pot and stuff, which I have no issues with pot, because
Yeah.
personal standpoint, I think pot needs to be legalized in a better form, better way.
Yeah.
But yeah, he started getting more depression and stuff like that. Wouldn't speak out about it. Wouldn't say anything. You talk to him, and he was the kind of guy that sit there and joke around. And he on the outside he looked like everything was fine, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then with his struggle, and then it's like, dude, if I would have known it, I would have said something out to him. Or
Yeah.
when I've been like that, I've tried to reach out to people and be like, hey, do you have a moment? Because I have to talk.
Yeah.
And I just feel like for that part, we would have less suicide average for men, especially on that, if more men didn't get the whole stigma of, men aren't supposed to talk or cry or anything like that. And instead of having your pride to where, oh, I don't need to talk about this. No, it needs to be talked about so that you
Mm-hmm.
don't do something stupid, because it's like, yeah, I mean, it's horrible, but then the people that you leave behind are the ones that really have to pick up the pieces to everything.
Yeah, a
And
lot of them are
then,
left wondering why you did this and what your
yep,
thought process was, and
exactly.
there's a such thing as a suicide survivor. A lot of people that deal with the after effects, they're really emotionally affected. But you can't go lead into that with that when you're talking to a lot of these people because sometimes like they don't care at that point. Once you get to a certain level, you're not listening to anything else that's going on. That's why these videos where these fucking people put out there like, well, after you take your life, the next day you'll have 18 text messages, 25 whatever, and start listening to laundry list. I'm like, do you understand that like what you're saying in these videos is basically confirming to these people and people like myself have been there that our lives don't mean shit to you? Like
Until you're
you think
gone.
you keep doing these videos, but you don't realize the impact you're having on certain individuals. Like some people this may be working for, but majority of people, they're seeing that thinking, okay, cool, you're telling me that my life doesn't mean shit. So okay, cool. I'm just gonna, go commit Harry Carey. It's all right. See you later. And it's
Hmm.
like I just every time I see him, it gets me so aggravated, and it's just like I'm so tired of looking at him. It's like you just need to quit. Like you think that these videos are helping people, and you're not. You're actually killing people off because you're telling them and confirming the fears that they're not. Their life doesn't mean shit to them. If they're already feeling like shit, they're seeing this video there. That's why when I show on my show, I say one kind dad can save somebody's life because a lot of times the last interaction you have with somebody could be the reason it either changes their mind or or pushes them over the edge.
Yep. Or
So
makes
that's
them,
why,
lets
you
them
know,
realize the fact that there is somebody out there that cares and does not want to see
exactly.
this happen.
Yeah, or somebody notices me, and I'm actually noticed, and things like that too. So that's the reason why I'm bringing Joy on, because every time I go in there, Joy's always very positive to people, and things like that too. And it always begs the question too, like the person that everybody goes to, is anybody checking in on that person? Like I
Hmm.
was struggling so bad, everybody came to me, but nobody was checking in on Pete to see how Pete was doing, and Pete's struggling. So I have a friend, I check in with him, sorry, every day. He was a guest on the show. His name's Sean. Sean and I check in every morning on Snapchat. He always messages me every morning. Good morning. If he doesn't message me, I give him hell. Like, whoa, bro, where the hell were you at this morning? And I slack sometimes too. But he knows I'm actively on there, so I try to hit him up later in the day. But I always see it every time, every day. It's always good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And he knows I'm not the type of person to say good morning. But like when he messages me, I'll message him back. To check in because he was struggling for a bit too when we first met him on the show, and then he was going through a really bad divorce. I told him, I say, hey man, we need to check in on each other as men. We need to start checking in on each other. So me
Hmm.
and him every morning check in. If he doesn't check in, he knows he's going to get hell about it. And he does the same thing to me too. So we hold each other accountable. Hey man, you haven't answered in the last few days. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. I just got busy. I give you the laundry list, and he's like, no, 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 no. You ain't gonna give me hell if you're not gonna do it yourself. I'm like, all right, you're right. I'm sorry, man. But it's one of those things I go out of my way to make sure I'm doing every morning to respond to him at some point. Or because I work nights, and when I get up, I'll send him a message or whatever and respond at some point in the day, and things like that too. Just because I know he struggles a lot with his depression and things like that, and he was on the edge a couple times, and it's just really sad that that's what we have to go to these days. Is that we have to worry about what's going to happen next because you don't know what people are struggling with, and things like that too. And a lot of us tend to forget that.
Yeah, because
Yeah, a lot of us,
once you get close to that edge, it is hard to pull yourself back from. And I mean, it takes a lot of
100%.
work to get yourself back in the mindset to where you're fully okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, because there's days I wake up and it's just, ugh,
Mm-hmm.
you just.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for like my wife and the kids and stuff like that, I don't know if there's days that I would wake up. But it's like
Yeah.
that they need you, they love you, and you got to keep going because of it. Because like my wife said in that, she goes, I've noticed since you've been having a hard time finding work because of my foot issue and with all that stuff and fighting with workman's comp and then having to move back into my mom's house. She's like, I can tell with you that there's a difference. You're not your normal self. And we got to talking to that, and it's like, yeah, moving back here and then losing, because I went from having a job where I was making almost 70,000 a year to
Yeah.
nothing. And it's like, I broke down. It's like, I told her, it's like, I feel like a failure completely
Yeah.
because everything in my life has went completely backwards. And then I had her dad, and a bunch of other people coming out and going, you're not a failure. You just had life throw you things that you've got to fix and adjust.
Yeah.
And
No, I hear you.
as soon as time goes by, things start fixing and stuff like that. And now going to court for my foot and all that, it's kind of starting to get better, but like when we moved down to Texas, it's like cool, we made a big step. We got everything going. And when we got down there, everything down there fell apart like massively. We were supposed to have a house waiting for us down there,
Mhm.
and there was a couple jobs I thought I had lined up. We got down there, the house fell apart, so we didn't have that. The jobs kind of went out of the picture because of my foot and stuff after they said, "Oh yeah, no big deal." So, yeah, I mean, we've spent the first month living outside of Brownwood on a friend's land kind of camping down there,
Yeah.
and we moved into a house in Brownwood that we met through going and getting lunch at like the Salvation Army down there. This guy that we thought was a good guy was a pastor and all that stuff. It's like, I got a house you guys can live in for free for a couple months to get yourself started. Yeah, that fell apart. The guy was not a good guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we finally said to hell with it and just came back because one of our kids, our 12-year-old, he's like, yeah, I don't want to come back down because he came up here to visit my mom and my uncle. And he's like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. So we're like, all right, fine. So we came back up here, and it's been a struggle trying to get everything going. But honestly, I mean, without the kids or the wife behind me, I could see how getting back to that darkness
Mhm.
can really happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, because you have a good support system, which is always good, and what do they call in therapy? They go to action plans, and to have people you can call. So I have a list of people to call, like my girlfriend's the top one on there. She's like, I have a special ringtone, so when you call, you can call and talk to me if you need to. And she's in Ohio, so we're gonna meet this year. We started talking recently. We started connecting. We've known each other for a while now, and now that I'm going through the divorce and things like that. She knows all about the divorce and everything. So like we're talking about meeting up, and she wants to come to Texas too. And she's like, her and a friend have already planned out the whole thing. They're like, you're 35 minutes away from everybody else, and everybody's in a big. Apparently, where I landed at, everybody's in a big circle. So she's like. So that'll be exciting. She wants to come down. She's never been past Illinois and all that stuff. So she's like, I've never been past there. I'm like, I've been all over the place. I've never been to the West Coast. So eventually I'll be going to visit my buddy in California who we met playing Call of Duty. He's actually been here. I've just been slacking and getting to his side. And he understands. Yeah, and things like that too. But me and Lewis, man, he's my best friend. I've known him for a long time. Lewis has been through everything with me. Like we talk about everything. We talk about every fucking thing. I can call and tell him, Lewis, I'm thinking about putting a gun in my mouth, and he'll stop everything. Like, yo, bro, talk to me. Listen, talk to me. Like, you're not gonna do shit. You're gonna talk to me. He said, because if I have to come get your ass, I will. I'll pack up the truck and come get you right now. So you better be careful what you're saying next to me. And it isn't to
Hmm.
scare me. It's just to tell me, like, hey, listen, man, I'll be there for you regardless. I'll clear space for you. All these things. Because when I told him I was getting divorced, he's like, bro, listen, you need a place to come stay. You can come stay here with me. Because I'm at my parents' house too. So I'll use their office to record it. And I'm living in a laundry room and I'm happiest I could be ever. And it sounds like, a complete shithole to me. But no, it's fine. I don't mind it. Like I kind of do my own thing. They do their own thing. Like we interact. We'll see each other for a little bit. But then when I'm recording, I'm using recording and stuff like that too. And they're big supporters of the show and things like that too. So they know what I've been doing and how I've been doing this, and they can see that the changes I'm making as I'm doing it, because it's been great. It's making a difference. As I slowly approach 5,000 downloads on the show, I'm like, I see my friends are getting 15 and all these other ones are like this. I'm like, that's great. But like when you're podcasting, you can't look at everybody else's numbers. My success is that I meet all these people. You can mention my name to any of these previous guests and say, hey, listen, Petevsanxiety sent me. And they'll say, yes. Do you have that same power? Probably not. My friend in Canada has 100,000 followers on YouTube, says that my name comes up more than her name does. And she has a bigger following base. I'm like, it's all about how you network with these
Yep.
people and you interact with them and things like that too. And Marin, which is another person I met, she started a podcast called Unapologetically Marin, the Cornbread Chronicles. She records out here in Texas. She's down in the Beaumont area. We met the other day, and she said she reached out to one of my other guests, my three-time returning guest. She already said yes instantly. She said, "Oh yeah, Pete for Anxiety said to reach out to see if you want to do the show," and instantly she said yes. I'm like, I told you. I said most of these people say yes unless they're busy and they have some reason they can't be there, but because like I said, I spent the time. I spent the time with these people. Made a good relationship with these people. I try and keep in contact with as many of them possible. I got friends that do other podcasts, like one's a couple nukes with Mr. Whiskey. My buddy Jay, which is one of my mentorees, he does one that's called Rock and Recovery. It's a sobriety one, and he talks about sobriety and things like that too. And he'll cover mental health. And Jay's having really good success with that too. He hit 100 episodes this past couple months ago. He had 100 episodes already, so he's loving it. And he's had people from like the Jacksonville Jaguars come on.
Oh, cool.
He had some comedian on this past week. He said he got free tickets to the show and things like that. So it's pretty cool for his own success. And then the girls from Looking Through the Glass are on the north side of Dallas. Celie and Giselle. They're really sweethearts. They're mom and daughter duo that do a lot of this stuff, and Celie's a recovering addict, so she talks about her own struggles and things like that too. They're a little unprofessional, as I got told one time, but we were laughing about that. I'm like, but which one of us are really professional, dude? What is a professional like, bro? Like, you know what this show's like before you sign up for it. Go watch it. If you sign up for a podcast, go listen to it. If you're that concerned about the level of professionalism. And things like that too. Like, it made me laugh when they said that though. But I've met all these great friends doing the show. Like Humanity 2.0, I found out actually my episode was the highest downloaded one on Spotify. And that's my good friend Vanessa, the Vivacious. She's doing really good things too. She just got signed on with some kind of movie for they have like a $30 million budget or something like that. She was saying, I don't know what she's doing, but she's doing something. Yeah, she's doing a lot of really interesting things. And things like that too. But I would never got any friends if I didn't podcast, because Vanessa was a guest on the show. The girls from Looking at Glass are friends of Jay's, and they've been on the show, and I've been on their show. Jay and I met through TikTok. And it's like these sites, you can use them to your advantage. Like TikTok's a great place to find a lot of people. You just got to know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all about meeting the right people, and then the right people send you to the right places. Like I said, you can go to Joy's Family Barbecue, the ladies' room that's there, and just mention my name and watch us light up like a candle, because I'm in there all the time, just popping in. Like $10 here and there every other week, dropping like different gifts and things. It's not even that. It's not the gift. Not thinking about she doesn't care about the gifts. It's the fact that it helps her push the room out further.
Yeah.
And she's always been a big supporter. So I'm like, what's $10 here and there every other week or something like that? Dropping galaxies and things like that. That kind of stuff. The small gifts. Joy will tell you firsthand. She's like, I don't care about your gifts. I just want you to come in and meet new people. That's how positive she is. So when she's on the show next week, she doesn't even know what she's coming for. She just says, oh, I know. I've been listening to your show. I don't know anything about mental health, but do you really, Joy? Because your positivity could be the one thing that saves somebody's life, and you don't even realize it. Your interaction, the positive, the bubbly, the fact to make everybody feel welcome when they come in. Those interactions could be the one positive interaction they need. Things like that too. She's shouting you out and everything, pinning you up on the thing, and just telling you, reading your profile, giving you a shout out. That's how I met a lot of people too. A lot of people come to me from her too, and I found out I had a fangirl the show. Somebody next week's going to be on the show, so if I go missing after Tuesday, y'all know what happened to me. I told people that several times now, but no, like she reached out to Marin, and Marin told me the story. You in fact were there for a little bit of that story. She came in, and Marin was telling me that the girl said she had been following me for 2 years. She's like, "Oh my God, Petevsanxiety?" She's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I was on his show. Why?" She's like, "Can you get me in contact with him?" She's like, you can reach out to him. He's just a normal person. And to me, I'm like, I'm not a superstar, bro. I'm an average Joe, man. I go to work every day, come home and record this show. I'm not better than anybody. You could reach out to me anytime and ask me to be on the show. And like I tell everybody, just go to my website and everything. I've got a website all set up for all that whole thing. Just email me in it. And, I'm eventually going to have to get a team together, honestly. It's where we're heading towards really fast. Because my schedule is getting crazy and trying to keep up with all this other crap and posting things, eventually I'll start giving a little bit of control off, because this has been my baby since day one.
Yeah.
I put all the work in this thing. None of these people have been here since day one. Respectively, none of these people have been here, but a lot of people have offered to come help me out. Like I have a Discord I don't even use. That's a whole section that alerts you whenever I put new episodes out. I got all these different things I got to start using this year. I'm actually working on Petevsanxiety trading cards. So that's my side project. Whenever I finally get time, to start doing them. Cool. But, I thought it'd be something kind of cool, because I'm a big nerd. So, like, I like sports cards. Yeah. And, I like different cards and things. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to have some people, because I've had some bands come on the show. They have, well-respected, over 1 million downloads on some of their songs. I'm going to see if some of them will sign them. Actually, Lucy Noor from the band Hunter, she lives in the Houston area. So I actually want to plan a trip to go down and see her and surprise her at the studio, because she has her own studio down there. She's going to freak. She's going to freak when I show up, I guarantee it, because she and I still talk. When we met, she probably was the coolest fucking person ever. This woman has 500,000 downloads and probably is the most humble person you've ever met in your life. No ego in her at all. And she told us about her struggles with BPD and things like that. And ever since then, Lucy and I check in all the time with each other. I always message her every so often. Hey, how you doing? Because she started touring. So she started doing actual live shows. So she had 500,000 downloads and hadn't even done a single live show yet until this point when I met her. And then this past year, she started doing live shows out of the Houston area. So I want to go down and see her sometime, So this year, that's my plan. Is I'm trying to visit more people, go meet more people, do different things, just trying to do more stuff. I got invited to come do Potapalooza, which is some kind of event in March. They invited me to go do the
Oh,
media
cool.
panel. Should be coming up here in February, I believe. I'm still waiting on all the details for what the schedule on that kind of thing is too. So I'm constantly doing other shows. Like I said, when we talked, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I told the same thing, Ashley. So I told her I'd come do hers too. I love doing these shows, man. It's great. I love meeting new people because that's more people I can add to my network of people I know. And that way, I can pass you out to people. Hey, listen, I got a great show. You can come check out. What do you think of this? And, and all these guests I run into and other stuff like that. So, I'll have to introduce you to Maddie, my co-host. You'll like her. She's got an interesting story for you, man. I'm telling you. Hers
Okay.
is some wild shit. I'm telling you. Hers is some wild shit.
Yeah, see, actually, she wants to get on some people's shows so she can actually talk about her past and that because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, we had an issue with her ex. He sent us a cease and desist, and she's like, I'm not lying about anything because he come up with, uh, defamation of character and all this
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
stuff.
that bullshit. Yeah.
And come to find out, it was a fake letter from a fake. They made all this stuff up just so she'd stop talking. And she's like, I want to get onto some of these bigger
Yeah.
shows and actually
Yeah,
say,
let her know. I got her. I got a few of them. I got a few of them. In fact, I got 3 of them I can think of right now that she could be on
yeah, she'd
that
be
I
like, let
know.
them send them a cease and desist and see how well that works.
Right. Because all she's doing is speaking the truth of what happened.
Exactly.
My girlfriend now, that's her situation. She's got a guy that's like a narcissist that stalks her all the time. So she's had to reduce her TikTok presence for now because he's like obsessed with her. So that's the thing I struggle with her a little bit is that this guy is like just kind of getting the middle things because he knows who I am now. So he's just trying to like harass me. I told him, bring it on. What are you going to do? There's nothing about my life that's not on the internet that nobody knows right now. I've been
Hmm.
completely honest about everything. I'll literally do a whole episode and clear out the closet of everything else. And then there's nothing to say. What do you got on me then? You
That's pretty
know?
much what I've done with this show, too. It's like, I don't really have any secrets. I don't have anything
Yeah.
bad. It doesn't really matter to me. So it's like I'll say whatever I want because it doesn't bother me. And if
Hmm.
like when we got that letter, I just laughed at it. And she's like, "Well, I shouldn't do my show for a little bit." It's like you can, if it's up to you. It's like I'm not worried about it. It's like we have a lawyer backing us. We had our lawyer look at it, and he goes, "No, this is fake."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
his main thing goes, "Did you name his name?" She's like, "No, I never said what his name was." He goes, "Then he has no leg to stand on because you
Yeah.
could be talking about any other ex you've had in the past."
I got a friend of mine named Christina that's on TikTok. She's wanting to speak out about, narcissists in the sober community. So me and her have to get together and do it. We were originally going to do this 2-part thing, but that was my big thing was that I don't want to mention this individual's name because I don't want to give them power of trying to say,
Yep.
oh, you're defamation of character. No, you can come share your stories, and tell what happened, but let's not name him at all because we don't want to give him that power. Like he's gonna know it's him because it's gonna trigger him. He's gonna get upset, but he can't do anything because we're not doing anything wrong. We didn't mention his name. And
Exactly.
I told her that was the guidelines. I said that was the whole thing about this. I said just make sure you are not mentioning his name because if we're doing this, we're going to do this the right way. We're going to pick at it, but we're going to let it lead to him getting upset because you're mentioning the situation. You're not mentioning his name. And, he'll be mad because he's not mentioning his name because he wants all the fame. He wants because that's how they are. They like that grandiose. They're all like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, like you said though, yeah, actually, I got some people I can link her up with though for sure. I mean, like I said, I got the friend in Canada that does Everybody's Addicted though, because you think about it, sobriety and addiction, everything all fall hand in hand with mental health, anyways. I'm sure she'd love to host her too. I just have to reach out to her and let her know and get her calendar. I'm pretty sure I've heard looking through the glass for sure. Would be definitely down. They always like everybody I send them, anyways. Jade would probably pick her up. Rock and Recovery. She obviously going to come do Pete versus Anxiety. That's an obviously given. She's obviously coming to see me.
Yeah, she
So
wants to. She's
yeah.
like, and I mean, we had one, and it actually might be a really good one for you, but we were going to have a guest on last week.
Hmm.
She ended up, Ashley wasn't having a good day, and then the guest she was trying to message me saying, I can't really come on because I just found out I have, a form of leukemia, and she goes, I
Mm.
just can't mentally do it. And I know she's on TikTok all the time. She's, ex Amish lady that got out and she became a stripper and everything. I'm just trying to pull up her name because she's got a book out there that I'm pretty sure that
David, we're not being professional right now. Damn it, quit. They should have made me laugh when they told Giselle and them. So listen, the only thing I'm going to tell Ashley though is when she goes on that show, to make sure to mention to Giselle, ask her if she remembers her email. So it'll be funny what Giselle says. She's gonna curse my name. I'm gonna tell her to be ready. Like she's gonna curse my name because this was a funny incident setup for this whole thing. Was that Giselle when she came on? I said, Giselle, what's your email? You know, like at the end, like let them plug their way. Hey, like how do people reach out to you? Well, you know, and then just went completely blank on what the email was. So to this day, I keep telling her that same thing. I'm like, Giselle, hey, listen, Joe, what's up? What's your email again? And she's like, fuck you, man, I hate you. So apparently she made a jab at me too because Celie and I ran each other on TikTok. She goes, "Yeah, you gotta listen? Have you been listening?" I said, "I've been trying to keep up. Yeah, I gotta catch up." She said, "Oh yeah, Giselle makes a jab at you on camera, but doesn't because it's only audio, so it doesn't realize you can't see it. But she's making a jab because she remembered her email."
But yeah, if you get a chance, check out Naomi. Oh boy.
Just send it to me. Just
All right, I'll probably
share it. Just share it through Messenger. Just message. Say you can share her profile to my message. Just take one of her videos and just send it to me. That's all you do. Just share it to me, and I'll look at it. I'll definitely see what's up.
All right, yeah, because I'll murder her last name.
Yeah, yeah. I have to ask a lot of them that. I'm like, how do you say your last name, bro? Like, what the fuck is this?
Yep, we have to do that a lot too. We're looking at some of the guests. It's like, oh crap! It's like, why can't anybody have a normal, like not normal, but I mean easy one like Smith or Johnson? It's like,
Yeah,
it's always something kind of goofy.
I got an interesting one too. She's a global bestseller. The Dr. Yvette Rose. She was really cool. I had her on the show. She was awesome. She wrote like 21 books about her life, basically, and we were going through them. We were supposed to get together and do some stuff. I just been super swamped with everything else going on, so I do need to reach out to her. But she's definitely a great one to talk to too. She's very informative. Her first book, one of my friends from Australia actually knew it. She was excited because she got to have her on the show. She's like, "Yeah, I reached out to her and told her that she told me to send her." You know, like again, I told her Petevsanxiety sent me. It was an instant. She said before I could say anything else, instantly says yes. I'm like, all right, just so. But you know, like I said, man, like I'll definitely get you the information for all that stuff for Ashley for sure. Like I said, she's obviously welcome to come on the show. We can figure that out. I know you guys are doing Uncle Jimmy's. He was great. I loved Uncle Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy will be on this week too. He was really fun. Like I said, I love Jimmy. He was awesome. So I know Jimmy was talking about doing a men's mental health thing or something about mental health on Mondays. So maybe we'll have to clue you in on that too, and you can join us. We can make it a 3-way conversation. Cause I think more guys talking about it or ask him about it when you see him. Or I'll probably see him before you will actually. So whoever sees him first, we'll ask him about it because I know he was talking about doing something. I said, dude, include me. Let me know. Like we could do something like that. Mondays would clear up the space to, you know, do it or whatever, and we'll just get together and we can all have a conversation. You know, I think it'll be a stronger message for 3 of us versus just 2 of us. Even 2 of us is a bigger number than 1 of us. You know what I mean? Like more voices than better. So I'm sure he'd be down with it. I don't see why he wouldn't say yes to it. Jimmy was a really cool guy. I loved him. He was awesome. He has that Jersey accent. So I love him.
Yeah, I had to laugh too because I was telling Ashley about it. I'm like, yeah. By the way, we got an interview scheduled, or at some point we're getting it scheduled with Uncle Jimmy. And she looked at me, and I'm like, you know who he is? She goes, yeah, I watch him all the time. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
she's like, oh my god.
Yep, she's gonna see me on there too because I was with Uncle Jimmy as well. He was fun. Uncle Jimmy is great. I met him. I was like, I forgot I signed up for the show. He's gonna see this Jimmy. I actually forgot I even signed up for the show. Like it was on my calendar. And I got this email. He's like, "Hey, are we still on?" I'm like, "Yeah, what time, man?" I'm like, "What time?" Really quick, because I just know where to be. Because I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm down." And I got in there with him, and he was running a little late. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "No, dude, you're great. You're fine." And we got in there, and Jimmy and I had a fantastic conversation. He was so much fun to hang out with. So, but yeah, you'll like Uncle Jimmy. He was great. I loved him.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to get on it because I've been checking out some of his shows and stuff like that, and I'm learning with podcasters and stuff. It is a small world. It's like when you start getting into the circle, it's like everybody kind of knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a lot different when when you just get started, you're just kind of thinking, okay, how am I going to get this going? How am I going to connect to things? And it's like once you start getting into that circle, it's like, wow, this is really not.
Yeah, that's the great thing about podcasters that we really good networkers that we network with people. I'm the master networker. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Y'all need to pick up the pace here apparently because everybody knows me. That's what they all refer to me as, the master networker, because I know everybody. And like, Jasmine was saying that to me too. She's like, Pete, why do I always hear your name all the time, but I'm more famous than you are? Because you suck at networking? I don't know. Jasmine, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. I'd like, let's be real. I don't know. I'm good at people. I'm good at people skills. I've been doing this all my life. I've worked waited tables for 8 years. I can have a conversation with anybody. When starting this show, that was the one thing I knew I could do. I could talk to anybody. Honestly, I have no problem. I talk to people every day now, as it is. People come in and talk to me and say, "How you doing?" You know, and I'll start talking to them, and they'll start telling me things. You know, and then we'll get into other conversations. So, you know, there's people literally traveled cities over to come see me. Like, there's a woman that lives in Burleson that comes over 2 cities just to come see me. She's like, "I literally come here just to see you because you're just, I like talking to you every time you come in here." So I was like, "Okay, well that works too." So.
Oh, like Ashley said before the show, she's like, wish we would have known that, got talking a little sooner in that when we were down there. We would have came up and visited you and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. Well, if you guys are coming back, we'll definitely have to get together. I'll introduce some of the other people. V's here in Texas as well, and she does Humanity 2.0. We were talking about doing like a big get together for people in this area, different podcasters. Now we have Marin, so we have Look into Grass, Humanity 2.0. We have Marin that's down south, down that way. I'm here now, you know what I mean? And it'll just be like one big get together for all of us to get together and do shit and just start networking that way too.
That would be cool. Because, I mean, we want to start networking this network a lot better. And like I said, we got thrown into it when we bought the network. It was set up, but not set up the right way. And we got it set up and going. And it's like, now it's like, okay, how can we make this more of a reality? Because to be honest, I'd love to do this for a full-time job.
Oh, hell yeah. No,
But,
I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. I say it all the time.
yep. But I mean, it's just not feasible yet because we haven't gotten any sponsors moving. We haven't gotten anything going, and everything that we do is charged out of pocket. So it's kind of like, okay, we got to watch what we do.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But
I'm telling you, I'm down for it. I want to get paid to do it too. That'd be great. That's my dream, is just to just do this for the rest of my, just get paid to do the show, like get sponsors and things in like that too, and things like that. So I'm down 100%. Like I said, I was like, man, that's what I'd love to do, because this is what I enjoy doing. This, I work 45 hours a week now, and then I come on podcast, God knows how many hours, you know, and I'm gaining traction this year versus last year. It was just like, you know, now I'm seeing a lot more people are emailing me, Pete, I've watched this episode with so-and-so. I got a great guest for you. And then people are constantly re-emailing. Well, I just want to refresh the email. Like, I see your emails, guys. I'm just one man trying to juggle all this shit at once. Like, shit.
Yep.
I was telling David, I'm like, I'm going to have to hire a team soon here, man. Get an intern I can yell at all day. Damn it, Billy, get over and do this. You know, that kind of thing. So,
well, that's what I was hoping one of my kids would do, but none of them seem to want to really get into it, except for, like I said, Jaden with his show, but he
hell yeah, I'm excited
can't
to go
do
that
something
one.
like that. And then my little guy, he started, because my automotive show, Blown Pistons, was what really got everything going. It's kind of like the flagship show on the network right now, but he wants to start in with mini pistons and start interviewing like children or kids that are in like the racing scene or the car scene and all that stuff. But
Oh, that'd
trying
be
to get
kinda
him to
cool.
where he wants to talk is like poking him constantly, like, you got to talk, you got to talk. It's like he just sits there and like, it's like, you've got to ask the questions, dude.
Yeah, or get him some like prompt questions from to ask people, and then looking like that.
Yep.
You know, it may be easier to do it that way too. That'd be
So
kind of cool, though. He probably gets some bigger names in racing to come. A lot of those guys like to come do other people's shows and things like that as well. They like come doing all those. One guy I met, he runs Rock and Recovery. Or no, he goes Rock and Roll something. But I believe he was autistic as well. He had like all these big names on there, like Mankind and things like that. He was name dropping. Sam
Mitchell.
over there was, Sam Mitchell over there. He's just name dropping. I mean, like, damn, Sam, could you like send some contacts my way too? Like, shit.
He's been on Ashley's show.
Oh yeah.
So
He had
he's a
Mick
good
Foley on
kid.
his show. I was like, Sam's one of mine too. I had him in and Sam told me he had Mick Foley on there. I'm like, bro, I'm like, Sam, give me the connection, bro. Like, let him come on my show, bro. I'd love to have Mick Foley come on here and talk to me, dude. I would die. Like, I used to watch this dude as a kid in the '90s. I'm watching I followed him all through WCW, ECW, all the things he used to do. I followed all his stuff, and he was just name dropping left and right. I'm like, all right, Sam, you want to like hook me up with some of these contacts, bro? Like, damn, okay. So, but it was really cool.
I got one guy for you.
Oh yeah.
He's a race car driver. He's autistic, and now I can't think of his name. There's the professional side again. But I'll have to send him to you too.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah, I'm down.
He was on. Ashley and I did a crossover show with her show and my show, and we had him on there, and we were talking about like the motorsports world and how his autism and stuff like that works for him and all that. So it was an interesting show. But I know you've got to get to work here shortly, don't you?
Yep.
All right,
yes, sir.
Well, if you can, what do you want to pimp out there? I guess I'll say that way.
What do I want to plug? All right, listen, let's do this like I do my show. Listen, guys, you can find Petevsanxiety everywhere. I'm on X all the way down to TikTok. I'm on Spotify all the way down to Pandora Radio. I'm pretty much everywhere you can find your podcasts at. I'm on YouTube, Rumble here and there. I'm just kind of working on getting that presence up too and things like that too. So, Dave and I have been discussing about me joining the network too. So it's probably what's going to happen. We'll have all the details of all that kind of thing coming up too. But yeah, season 3 drops the 4th of March. So hopefully it'll be appearing here on this network right here. But we'll see, guys. Well, you guys stay tuned to find out though. But yeah, listen, man, I enjoyed being here. This is great, man. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely have you come visit me, and we'll continue our conversation there. Ashley obviously is gonna come, and we'll get networked with a bunch of other people and see what we can do for you. Get some more people going.
We'll have to get our OnlyFans going too.
Yes, there you go.
But
I'm
yeah,
down.
you are definitely welcome back at any point in time. Just say the word, and you've got a permanent spot on the show.
Hell yeah, I'm there. Sounds good to me. I like it. Definitely for sure.
But I'll let you get to work. Yeah, I'll as soon as I get this out, I'll make sure I let you know. That way you can see it. I know I've got
Definitely.
to go on and do the research and get your links and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
but,
get you all of them.
all
I
right,
can send
cool.
you all. Just go to my website. Everything's on there already.
All right.
Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, if you want to be a guest on the show, I don't know, I didn't plug this. If you want to be a guest on the show of Pete vs. Anxiety, go to PeteVsAnxietyPodcast.com. Yes, I have a website. Everything will be there. Everything Pete's there. I have a school community as well called the You Matter Society. I've been kind of slacking on. So maybe I'll finally start picking that back up here. I just have too many things going on. I'm trying to do all this stuff, record season 3, everything else. We'll eventually get an intern crew together and yell at them about it all. But yeah, you could find me there. Just email me, and I promise I will get back to you. It's just I've just got a lot going on. I'm really just busy. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I'd love to hear your stories. Make sure when you email me too, give me a little bit of what your story is and everything like that, so I have something I'm looking at, so I know where to place you at exactly in my season. So I appreciate it though.
Yeah, see, we'll have to move back down to Texas. That way we can get an intern and have it. We get to hire them together, have them work for both.
Right? So yelling at them, they're like, "Damn it, Billy, get together over there. We need you to hurry up and do this."
Exactly. Well, I know my wife and I. If you got a second, we were talking about we had a restaurant idea because one of our good friends down in Brownwood, he's a chef, and we had actually talked about. And he goes, "The moment you guys get this started, let me know," because he's like, there was a perfect restaurant and everything. He wants to start making food, and we wanted to run the podcast and business out of the restaurant, have like a recording studio and
Oh, that'd be dope.
everything.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, because he wanted to make gourmet meals with good, good food, good quality food.
You know what I mean?
at a really
Make
cheap
them with like
price.
podcasting term names to them and things like that. That'd be kind of cool too. That'd be
Yeah.
something different. Yeah, that'd
That's
definitely
what
be dope.
we've got the idea of doing that, and we wanted to get that going whenever we possibly can start making this more of a
Oh, yeah.
profitable thing. So
No, I agree.
yeah,
We'll
so
have to talk about it for sure. I'm down. That sounds like something cool. I'd be behind that 100%. That'd be really cool.
but I'll let you get ready for work and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, I got a feeling we could make a couple more shows out of this.
Hell yeah, I'm down. You know me. I'm a man generator, man. I do a lot of things. I'm always down for new things.
Well, if you ever get a moment where you're sitting there bored, like, oh, maybe I could do a show, hit me up. Let me know.
All right, definitely. Listen, definitely, guys. You're going to see a bunch of new things coming, guys. We're going to have some new shows in the network. So hopefully soon I will be a part of the network after me and David work all the details up. But yes, I'd like to join definitely for sure. We were talking about it off camera beforehand. So, but I'm definitely down. Like, count me in. Count me in. I'd love to to make it a home of Pete versus Anxiety.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, you have a good night.
See you later, guys. Have
Don't
a great
work
one.
too hard.
Right, for sure.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Later.